Hey, I'm Jusko from ProudMoney.com. In this video, we are going to look at the worst credit cards on the market. But first, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already. And if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So we are going to go negative in this video. We are going to look at the worst of the credit cards out there on the market. And then we're also going to look at some sort of underwhelming credit cards as well. Maybe sort of the worst of the cards from the major issuers and some other stuff too. Now, if I truly wanted to look at only the worst credit cards out there on the market, well then it would be kind of boring in a way, because all of the very worst cards are going to be those that target bad credit customers, because they're going to have terrible interest rates, they're going to have high fees, they're going to have little to no rewards. So we will look at some of those, sort of the worst of the worst, but we'll look at other categories as well for people whose credit is a little better. Now, if you are a bad credit customer, the worst of the worst are going to be cards that hit you three different ways, or at least two different ways, with fees, and then have high interest on top of that. So some cards are going to give you an interest rate over 30%. They're going to hit you with a fee just to apply for the card. They are going to hit you with an annual fee once you get the card, and then in either the first year or the second year, they're going to put a new monthly maintenance fee, or whatever they want to call it. So you are essentially paying an annual fee and a monthly maintenance fee, which essentially just means you are paying a higher annual fee every year. So some of the perpetrators as far as that goes, sort of the worst of the worst as far as I'm concerned. My favorite punching bag always is First Premier. They are pretty bad. Interest rates over 30% for most customers. You are usually going to have a fee to get the card. You're going to have an annual fee, and then somewhere along the line you're going to get that monthly maintenance fee that is also going to kick in. So you're going to be paying an awful lot. You're going to have a very high interest rate, and you're going to have a very small credit line. Now, First Premier is not alone in charging very high fees and high interest to people with poor credit. There are many others that are sort of playing in this pool as well. Among the worst of the worst, the Total Visa, also with high interest, high fees, small credit lines. There is a First Digital credit card out there, pretty much the same kind of thing. There's a company called Continental Finance that basically has a number of different cards that essentially are the same. Things like the Surge MasterCard and Reflex and Fit and Verve, and there are others as well from Continental Finance. You may see the Aspire card out there, some cards from Fortiva. A lot of these kind of cards are going to have potentially that application fee, and then the annual fee, and then the maintenance fee that kicks in. So if you see the annual fee and that maintenance fee, run. So if you have bad credit, yeah, you may have to pay high interest, you might have to pay high fees. That's going to come with the territory, but make sure you aren't gouged. Make sure you really look at the terms and conditions of any card that you sign up for, because some are worse than others. Now, let's look at the worst cards from some of the major credit card issuers. Maybe not the most terrible cards that ever existed, but cards that you're kind of like, you could do better. Start with the Amex Everyday card. A no annual fee card from American Express gives you rewards in the membership rewards program. 2 points per dollar on groceries, 1 point per dollar everywhere else. If you use the card over 20 times per month, you'll get a 20% boost on those points, which would mean 2.4 points on the groceries, 1.2 on everything else. As I make this video, a sort of nominal bonus that you can earn of 10,000 points with this card. When I look at this card, I think, who is this for exactly? If you are someone that has decent credit, you could probably get other cards that you could do better on your groceries and your everyday rewards. Otherwise, maybe if you have other American Express cards in the membership rewards program, you could augment it with this card, but it's not really giving you a whole lot. So you could get another card where you would do better in terms of the rewards you are getting with this card. I think it's pretty much American Express's worst card, and I'm not really sure why it exists. Another card I've never been a fan of, the Capital One Venture One card, a no annual fee card that gives you 1.25 miles per dollar on all of your purchases. Now, those miles can be used at a penny per point to essentially cancel out travel that you book with the card. And then Capital One has added some travel partners where you can actually transfer your points into the programs of some of these frequent flyer and hotel programs, and that has made the card better because maybe you can get a little bit more for those points. But overall, you're probably still not going to get great value from this card at only 1.25 points or miles. Even if you transfer it over, you're not going to do that great compared to other cards that are out there on the market. If you got 2 cents per point out of it through some of these transfer partners, well, then that's okay, but there are 2% cash back cards on the market that would be just as easy to get the same thing, and you wouldn't have to go through all the machinations in order to get the full value. So this card does not have a lot going for it as far as I'm concerned. As I make this video, it's got a pretty nice bonus that would get you essentially $200 or more, but on a daily basis, an ongoing basis, not worth holding. Disney offers 2 credit cards in partnership with Chase that you would hope would be magical, but they really aren't. Beyond getting a Disney character on your card, you're not getting a whole lot of value with these cards. There's the Disney Premier Visa that gives you 2 points per dollar on gas, groceries, restaurants, 1 point everywhere else. And then you have the standard Disney Visa that has no annual fee, and that's just going to give you 1 point on everything. The points that you earn are only going to be redeemed for Disney dollars, which you can use toward Disney merchandise or things within the park. With the Disney Premier, you actually can also use those points toward airfare, but you're not getting anything extra in terms of the value of those points. Pretty much going to be penny per point. So with that said, you would think that Disney must be giving you some really great extras since the everyday rewards are not so good. But they're not giving you a whole lot. There are some discounts on Disney merchandise, and there are some things within the park, maybe some character meet and greets, that kind of stuff. But not enough really to justify getting what overall are pretty lousy credit cards when you compare them with the rest of the things on the market. Another co-brand card I'm not a big fan of is the Starbucks Visa, also issued in partnership with Chase. Now Starbucks has its own existing rewards program, and the Visa sort of builds on that, so you can get more rewards in that program. It's a little bit of a convoluted program in terms of what the worth is of the stars, or what you might think of as points. So when you look at what you're getting from the card, you kind of have to do some calculations to try to figure out what you think a star is worth. As far as I'm concerned, you get 150 points equaling a free drink at Starbucks. So I sort of use that as the standard, which would mean a point is worth about, or a star is worth about 3 cents. So when you look at the card, you're essentially getting 1 extra point at Starbucks when you use the card to pay. So you're getting like 3% at Starbucks. There are some other categories where you would get 1 point for every $2. So you could think of that as being 1.5% in rewards. And then everywhere else, you're only getting 1 point for every $4 spent. So you could think of that as 0.75%, which is a pretty lousy reward. And the card has a $49 annual fee, at least after the first year. It's waived in the first year. But looking at that overall, it's not really a great rewards card to begin with. And when you tack a $49 annual fee onto it every year after the first year, it gets even worse. One of the pet peeves I have in the travel credit card space is that many of the major airlines and hotel chains will offer no annual fee versions of their credit cards as part of a suite of cards. And if you are someone that is interested in travel rewards and you don't want to pay an annual fee, you might be lured in by those cards, not realizing that not only are those cards worse than the other cards offered by those airlines or hotels, but they are worse oftentimes than other no annual fee cards out there on the market. So you could do better looking elsewhere for a cashback or points card. It's not true across the board, but it is often true. And I will give you 2 examples. One is the American Airlines A Advantage Mile Up card, no annual fee, 2 miles per dollar on grocery purchases, 2 miles per dollar on American Airlines flight purchases, 1 mile per dollar everywhere else. You've got a bonus offer that is okay, but really nothing else going on with this card. I think there's an in-flight discount, so you'll get a little discount on your purchases on the plane, but you're not getting any sort of baggage benefit or anything else with that card. You're not going to get on the plane early for having it. Same thing with the Delta Blue card. Again, no annual fee. You're getting 2 miles per dollar on restaurants, 2 miles per dollar on Delta flights, 1 mile everywhere else, an in-flight discount, but really not a whole lot more going on with that card. You'll get a bonus as a new card holder that is somewhat modest. So these cards really aren't all that great. If you got yourself a 2% cash back card, that would probably make you happier than getting that Delta or A Advantage card. And it's kind of true from a lot of the other travel cards that don't have annual fees either. So the travel companies do it to sort of give you that option, and it's good for them, but it's not necessarily good for you. And then finally, it is common in many financial media stories to bash retail store credit cards. They love to talk about how you go in the store, you make a purchase, they pitch on their credit card, give you a little discount on that purchase, and then all of a sudden you're sucked into some black hole that you can't get out of with this card that has an enormous interest rate, and it's just the road to hell. Well, the truth of the matter is, if you pay off a retail store credit card every month, you're not going to pay interest, just like happens with a Visa or MasterCard or American Express that you pay off every month. So retail store cards are not necessarily terrible as long as you don't carry a balance from month to month. And some retail store cards, really good, nice rewards, they'll send you some good discounts. Now, there are some bad retail store credit cards, and after all that lead in, the bad retail store credit card that I want to talk about is the Home Depot credit card. So this is a card from a very major retailer. You would think they would have a pretty good credit card, but it just sits there. There's some special financing on this card, so when you get it, there is the possibility of getting a discount on a larger purchase that you make. Sometimes, depending on when you apply, you could get some sort of bonus, but mostly this card doesn't have much going on, and you have a competitor in Lowe's that has a credit card that gives you 5% off everything that you buy at Lowe's. So you would think Home Depot would really be trying to make sure they're competitive with Lowe's and have some kind of rewards program going on, but nothing happening with that Home Depot credit card at all. All right, so those are the credit cards that I love to hate on. If you have some credit cards that you love to hate, I would love to hear about it in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching. And as always, please go to proudmoney.com, where we do credit card reviews and we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.